Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you all been having a great Gamescom week and seeing all these awesome trailers and streams. In this video, I want to share my thoughts with you all regarding the stuff that I liked or that stood out to me during XCOM, and I did also do a live reaction of the Xbox showcase over on Indie's channel. So if you want to go over there, give them a like, leave a comment in the chat. You don't have to watch the whole thing. We know what happened. I don't want you to fall asleep, but Indy's an awesome guy, and I appreciate him for inviting me. And it's nice being on other channels again, and doing little guest appearances, which I do have a playlist again with that stuff going forward. A lot of the old stuff I just put in the backlog, put away. They were all great memories, but looking forward, I can't wait to get back into podcasting again and more live reactions, maybe on Indy's channel. Either way, I'll leave a link down below if you're interested. First thing I want to start with is Destiny, because shockingly enough, that was the best showcase I saw this week, and it really got me back into wanting to play Destiny again, interested in the storyline, happy that they're celebrating 30 years and they did a whole montage with that. That was really cool. So yes, that stream got me real hyped because I was actually getting ready to do the live reaction, and I was watching that and I had to stop a couple times and watch and pay attention, just watch and have feels when it came to Bungie and Destiny and all the good times and all the memories, and it just made me want to jump back into it. Like I said, I'm not going to get into the details of what they showed exactly. I can do a separate video about that, talk about all the things I'm looking forward to, what I've played so far, what I haven't played. I watched a couple videos with my brother, I caught up with the storyline, but either way, that new expansion looks badass. Everything I think they showed I liked, and the only thing that I didn't, which I didn't even notice right away, I found out later on, with the galley. And the galley, even though it's back and I'm hyped for it, it's behind the paywall, so you definitely have to pick that up. You can't just, play the game and eventually unlock it through a mission or a raid or anything like that. So it does suck in that little way. I wish they would have just gave it as a optional thing for everyone, whether you have to do a hard mission, whether you have to grind for it a little bit, but you have to pay for it and get it. Either way, besides that, everything else that Bungie showed was amazing, and I didn't know I was gonna give them a high score. So that was the first showcase. I was like, wow, that's a good start, you guys. Let's go. After that, we all know it was Xbox, and that was really disappointing stream. Like I said, you can see the live reaction and you'll hear it in our voices, but let's try to go with the positives. And even though I didn't rate this showcase very highly, I did like a couple things that they talked about in there. So one of the first things was the xCloud coming to Xbox. What was it? Game Pass Ultimate members, where you can play the current gen on the last gen. So since I have an Xbox One, I can try this and play games that are only on the series consoles, so like Flight Simulator and stuff like that, or whatever game that's coming out in the future that's only for the current gen, I could play it on the last gen. So I thought that was really interesting and very ballsy of them to do that, but then again, that's really cool. I could try a lot of these games before I even get the console, and I could pick those up later on and get the full resolution and the full experience, then. But I just thought that was a really nice highlight that I almost looked past. But going back, just thinking about it, that is one of the highlights. Definitely they did. The second thing I really liked that they showed off was Humble Bundle games that are coming to Game Pass. I believe there is 10 different games. A lot of them looked really awesome. Midnight Fight Express is definitely the highlight in that, but I also thought Flynn, Son of Crimson, I believe it was, and the dodgeball game were really cool and interesting and fun. So I wanted to check those out as well. Into the Pit looked really good when they showed that off separately. Actually, it looked, I think the stream was having issues, so it was like pretty grainy looking, but later on I went back and looked at the trailer by itself, and it looked really cool. It's like Doom with magic and stuff. There's another game, it was a Stray Blade. That one looked interesting as well. And then some of the other highlights were Psychonauts 2. They showed that off even more. I downloaded the game. I have to play that. The Gunk, still interested in that, but it was weird that they didn't announce when that one was coming out, and then they announced it on Twitter instead, so that one's coming out in December. And then they showed off more Forza Horizon. Like, if we're not already like sold on it and we're ready for it, they showed off more Forza, and they showed a lot about that, and I think they even did a stream after the fact. So that was it. That was the only thing about the Xbox showcase I found interesting. So I went from thinking it was a 5 or so to a 7 because I focused on these highlights, and then I kind of dropped it to 6 because of what happened the next day. So Jeff Keighley had a show again. Surprise, surprise. I believe it was opening night live, and he was doing his usual spiel, and I wasn't sure what we're gonna see, so I was really excited for the games and the trailers, and the gameplay is what I really wanted to see. I didn't care for any guest, like, surprise star appearance or anything like that. They did have a pre-show, and they showed off some cool stuff there. King of Fighters, Soundfall, and Dream Cycle. That was really interesting. So those are the main things I was like, ooh, it was a nice surprise. Then they officially started the show with Saints Row, which, meh, it looked okay. Nothing that got me interested or excited about the game, but I heard that it was a reboot. They did Midnight Suns from Marvel, and that was very interesting until I found out that it's made by similar devs or the devs that made XCOM or something like that, and I was like, oh no. And now everybody's saying that it's gonna be a tactical game, and I'm not into that, but the trailer looked really cool. After that, the next thing that stood out to me was Halo. What a shocker to see that much from Halo on this show, when the day before they didn't show anything. Was I guess a little disappointing, but at the same time I was happy that they were showing something. The trailer they showed was okay, not what I was hoping or expecting, and then they showed off I believe the Elite controller, and that looked awesome. If I was a bigger Halo fan, I would have definitely gone on my way to get that. But I'm still heartbroken that I didn't get Gears Elite controller. So that's the only Elite controller I want in my life, besides the regular ones. Anyway, and then they showed the console, the Xbox Series X console, custom Halo paint and all that good stuff. And I was just like, you gonna show 1 or 2 of these on your other show? Okay, cool, whatever. So they showed off Halo. So it's coming out on December 8th, which that was already rumored. So that's another, oh shit, okay, surprise, surprise. So then they jumped into some other stuff, and Cult of Lamb looked crazy, adorable and creepy and scary all at the same time. They showed more of Midnight Fight Express, and that game still looks awesome. I believe it's coming out next summer. They showed TMNT Shredder's Revenge, which I was extremely happy about and hoping for a release date, but they didn't do a release date. They only showed off that April is a playable character, which is cool. What else they showed? Splitgate, that was awesome. It makes me want to go back into Splitgate because I stopped playing it for a while when the servers were acting up. So they announced that they have a season and everything like that, which is available right now. Riders Republic, another thing that I was interested in, and they said, hey, they have an open beta right now. Go check it out until the 28th, I believe. So that was really cool. I believe that's tomorrow. And what else? They had some weird award system that they were doing there, which I did not agree with, and I feel like everybody on Twitter was also confused. So that was a thing. Horizon, They talked about Horizon Forbidden West. They finally have a release date. That was awesome. I'm glad that they're already showing cinematic and gameplay before they even had a release date. So now we know that's coming out next year. And then they announced that the last game, or the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn, it has 60 frames. So that's awesome. If I ever want to get back into that before I play the second one, actually finish it. And then after that, what else? Crossfire. They showed Crossfire X, another game that I was expecting to see on the Xbox show. They had it here. They showed a little bit more off, and I was like, cool, it looks badass. I want to play that. And I completely forgot that they said the multiplayer was free to play, but like that Remedy's doing their campaign, so I don't know if they're coming out at the same time or at separate times. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. No release date. They just says coming soon, whatever that means. And then was it Sifu? Was the thing they showed after that, and I believe they announced the date on there. I can't remember if I saw that there on Twitter, but Sifu's coming out. First time I saw it, I thought it looked okay, but now I'm more interested in it, so that's also coming out next year. Actually, I think right after Horizon. I think Horizon's coming out on the 18th. This was coming out on the 22nd of February. So yeah, that was really cool. Overall, they had awesome trailers and interesting things to look at. Like, I was entertained, but I never care for the way that Jeff Keighley hosts his shows. And who could forget the beautiful performance from Lindsey Sterling? So I really like that. I know some people don't like those, and sometimes, yeah, they are hit or miss depending, but I thought it was fitting. And the last showcase I watched was Future Game Show, which was actually a nice surprise. I didn't know if anybody else was going to do anything. So I checked it out, and they showed off a little bit of Life is Strange. I watched the beginning of it, but since it is like a playthrough a little bit of the game, I didn't want to get spoilers or anything like that, so I stopped watching it for a little bit. I came back to it, and they were showing Bum Rush, Cyberpunk, which I am definitely looking forward to that. They showed it off with the Nintendo Indie World, and I was really hyped. That was my highlight of that showcase. Then they showed off, well, they showed off a lot of awesome indies in the show. A lot of interesting ones, a lot of cute ones, a lot of weird ones. So if you're ever interested in that, check out that showcase. But the other game that stood out to me was Gungrave Gore. That was a nice surprise. That gave me nostalgia from back in the day, and I believe I tried that on the PS2 or something. So that was really cool. They showed off another game that was a nice surprise, was Trepang, and that was another shooter, and I thought it looked interesting, but I didn't know anything else about that. And they ended the show with the Nickelodeon brawler that's obviously going to be a Smash killer. They showed that off, and I thought that was hilarious, and they showed off two characters that are coming out on there. So they got Cat Dog, nostalgia, and then April again. We got fucking April multiple times now. I thought that was fun. They showed off some gameplay. Who knows, I might pick that up. That's a fun game. But if it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely play it. Let me know what you guys think down below. What did you watch? How did you rate them? What are some of the games that you're looking forward to? If you don't want to talk about how bad the shows were or anything like that, just tell me about the games. I think I've rambled on way too long. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Check out the links so you have a chance, and I'll see you on my next video.